sexual, they do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mills, Bryshere Gray, left that house screaming. August the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick. He needed the help.
Scared. There's things going on with me. There's rumors. There's people that are body shaming me and like the way I look.
What's your greatest fear?
My greatest fear? I don't even know how to answer that question. Not being able to live as long as I can.
Do you regret ever getting involved in...
I didn't have a choice. It got bad when I was about 15 years old. I'm sorry the way that I look. It hurts so bad. It hurts. It hurts so bad because there's like nothing I can do about it. I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to like not do this. Me and crying, I can't stop. I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe in God. My dad died 5 weeks ago.
What are your first thoughts when you see this?
I'm a broken man.
It's dark and demonic energy that this industry was built on. And people manipulate young women, they manipulate, and at the end of the day, it's all for the dollar and all to feed their ego. So I've seen some where you're like, that's just not right. Like, that person shouldn't be talking to that person. That person shouldn't be in the room with that person alone. When you're in this position to change people's lives.
So it looks like the truth behind Aaron Carter's death is finally coming out, and Bryshere and Orlando are right in the middle of it. A lot of people have always speculated that Aaron's death was shady as hell, because it happened right when he was beginning to reveal incriminating things about the industry. The type of things that they literally spend millions of dollars to make sure never come out. And who better to speak for him, now that he was dead, than Bryshere and Orlando. They pretty much went through the same thing Aaron went through, except they made it out alive, unlike Aaron. Okay, so as most of y'all know by now, Aaron Carter passed away back on November 2nd, 2022, at just 34 years old. And according to what was reported at the time, his death was ruled as an accidental drowning after he OD'd on Xanax and a mix of other substances. On the morning of November 5th, 2022, Aaron was discovered in the bathtub at his place by his housekeeper, who dialed 911 and was told to start CPR. Emergency responders arrived at the location, and Aaron was declared dead right there at 11:14 a.m. After they investigated the scene, his body was taken to the department's Forensic Science Center for an examination, and it was revealed that Aaron was incapacitated while in the bathtub, ultimately leading to drowning. A lot of people didn't buy any of this, and still think to this day that his autopsy was faked by people at the top to cover up what really went down. Also, this ain't the first time a celeb drowned in the bathtub. The reason folks made these claims was that Aaron was real loud about the stuff happening in the industry, and we all know Hollywood hates that. Everyone who's tried exposing things either gets called insane and thrown in a psych ward, or ends up dead. And sadly for Aaron, he experienced both. The most heartbreaking part is that Aaron got his start in the industry as a child actor at only 9 years old. And according to several reports, he was getting touched on by creeps in Hollywood from the very start. And to make matters even worse, they were stealing this man's money, y'all. You see, even though he had really successful albums and hits throughout his career, he admitted that all his money got stolen by record executives who were just using him, both for his finances and body. In 2002, he took legal action against his manager, Lou Pearlman, saying he owed him hundreds of thousands in royalties. They worked it out privately, but he came at him again in 2007 to get released from his recording deal, which he actually won. But it wasn't just his manager and label people robbing him. His whole family, especially his mom, was also using him. And once he got old enough to understand what was happening, he didn't waste any time calling it out. In 2003, Aaron filed to legally separate himself from his mother and co-manager Jane Carter. It all sounds too familiar with what Bryshere Gray also went through with his mother. Anyways, Aaron was supposed to have over $45 million in his trust fund by the time he hit 18 under California's Coogan Law. But when he finally got access to it, there was only $2.1 million sitting there. You see, he says he made over $300 million throughout his career by age 18, and according to the Coogan law, his parents were required to put away 15% of everything he earned into his trust fund. His mom, though, was supposedly spending all the money on herself and only managed to save up $2.1 million instead of 45. Oh, absolutely not. I would be taking everyone to court too, because how are you only getting $2.1 million when you're supposed to have $45 million? And listen to this. To make everything even worse, Aaron also said he got blackballed once he started taking people to court. When he tried getting deals with other labels, they wouldn't even consider him because they knew some powerful people would tank his career if they tried working with him. This was actually what caused him to fall into a deep depression, leading to his use of hard substances.
I take for high blood pressure medication, and I took for my mouth.
Actually, right after Aaron passed away, people started digging into his past. And that's when they found out he was running in Diddy's circle when he was still a child. It's not clear what exactly he had going on with Diddy, but according to several insiders, Diddy was one of the executives who used him and got him hooked on substances. I mean, I would not put anything past Diddy, considering everything that has been proven in court. A blind item from Aaron's camp came out not too long ago saying that Aaron was working on a documentary to expose Diddy for his role in his trauma, right before he supposedly drowned. Aaron Carter was unalived right before he was about to expose what happened at P. Diddy's ST parties, where he was a victim of substance misuse and grape. Aaron Carter released albums under Sony Music Group Entertainment, which is a parent company of P. Diddy's Bad Boy Records. And guess the two other people who went through the same thing: Bryshere and Orlando. You see, just like Aaron, Bryshere, and Orlando were also child stars who got used up by these industry players, got hooked on hard substances, and then thrown out like garbage. Remember when Terrence Howard went on that interview and literally admitted right out of his mouth that Bryshere lost his manhood to other men in the industry against his will?
When you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't get that back.
Are you saying what I think you're saying?
Now, I'm saying what I'm saying. You don't get that back. You come into this world as a man one time. You give up that right for anything, for fear of being hurt, fear of somebody doing something, for wanting to gain something. When you give up that man card right, you lose some spiritual energy that has always been pushing through. Like if a woman gives up her womanly right. But when you give up your manhood, I've never seen somebody recover from it. That was all the people that went to the puffy parties. That was all the people that did all those things thinking that there was never going to be a consequence for what they were doing. Got punked out and pumped out by some greater desire. You shouldn't have a greater desire than being a man.
You see, when Bryshere was just 17, he was handed over by his mama and former manager to Diddy and Will for a supposed mentorship. But baby, word on the street is they did everything else to him but that mentorship. You see, after the mentorship ended, Bryshere was a totally different person. He was constantly getting locked up and spiraling with substances. He went from being on one of the biggest shows on TV at just 17 to being seen as nothing but a washed-up Hollywood has-been. In 2022, he was arrested and convicted for aggravated attack against a woman he was seeing at the time. But this wasn't his first time dealing with the law. Back in 2020, his wife got help from someone at a gas station nearby after she ran there asking for assistance. She told the cops that Bryshere had choked her and kept attacking her until she was passing in and out of consciousness. When the police showed up at his place to arrest him, he wouldn't come out. It took hours of the SWAT team going back and forth with Bryshere just to get him to step outside.
Stars of the hit show Empire. Tonight we're seeing hours of new video from his July arrest that ended with his wife flagging down police and telling them the actor had her for hours inside their Goodyear home. The bizarre jailhouse interview lasting for 2 hours as they try to piece together a chaotic chain of events.
Around the same time, Jaguar Wright also stepped into the chat with some of the wildest rumors you've probably heard in your life. She backed up the rumors about Bryshere's manager at the time, Charlie Mack, playing a role in the whole situation by connecting Bryshere to the people who were passing him around. But this is where it got even wilder. Jaguar also disclosed that the reason Charlie was able to make that happen in the first place was that Bryshere's mom, Andrea Mayberry, was also involved, and she let everything go down. Jaguar claims that when all this was going down, Andrea came to her desperate for help, and she told her to get Bryshere away from Charlie Mack since he was the one linking Bryshere to Diddy. But Andrea didn't do anything and let Diddy and Will supposedly keep exploiting her son until there was barely anything left of Bryshere.
Say, Andy, I'm talking about Bryshere's mom. I'ma kick you in your in and I'ma go to work North Philly style. F you and Charlie. You happy now? He's a gay star. Are you happy now, Andy? For a book that didn't sell. I hope that new husband of yours leaves you. And maybe it's time you tell your son why his father is really in jail, his biological father, for all of his life and what you had to do with it. F you. You CI bitch. I'm sorry.
By that point, Bryshere had already been completely broken down and was now using substances just to cope.
That came to me and begged me for my help. I told her to get the fuck away from Charlie. I did everything that I could do to get Bryshere, to help her get Bryshere out of California into Chicago safe, to be ready for filming. She knew she knew what Will did to him. But because of Charlie, see? And Charlie had promised her all kinds of things. And all she had to do was pretend to be a broken down single mom who worked her way up through the ghetto and raised a superstar for television, when the truth is she wasn't nothing but a dealer's. That's all she ever was. She went from dealer to dealer, and then she snitched on whoever she needed to snitch on until she could get to the bigger bag, until she got with Larry Lair, my friend who raised Bryshere in $1 million home. Your whole book is lies, Andy. And I hope anybody that bought it asks for a refund and demands it comes out of your pocket every time they see your son's gay. You and Charlie Mack.
I mean, we have all heard what Bilal had to say as well.
You hold them down, because he was like, Charlie Mack is not going to be able to be there, because him and Charlie had something else going on. I arrived in Chicago for Empire. It's a damn mess. It's no other way to put it. This dude is going crazy, right? He's out there allegedly with male prostitutes. He's pissing in the trailer. He's acting psychotic, right?
The same thing he's doing now.
Beyond that. But this is why a show is going on. I pulled him to the side. I said, listen, I'm here to help you, and so forth and so on. So he was like, all right, I feel that. He said, everybody on the set know you. Everybody seem like they love you. Okay. I want to love you because everybody else love you. I said, if that's what you want to do, then do it. But he kept acting up. And then one day I said, what the F is wrong with you? And he was like, you know. He said, you know Will me. You know Diddy made me suck his. You know what's going on. You know Charlie made me suck. And I said, I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea. So he crying, no blood is coming from his nose. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And I'm like, yo, listen, somebody stole 2 hard drives from Jada's house. So now we get into why she's even more mad. Jada will watch at the houses. She had her laptop. She would stick her hard drive in, right? Boom, and hook it up to the TV. And she could play whatever video she watching. So I'm seeing videos of her and Will and a bunch of some celebrities, everything. Because remember, the last interview I told you, if you don't sue me, I'm gonna let people know who you've been hitting with them deals. And I said, if you don't sue, I'm going to sue. So I told you, being Muslim, whatever I say I'm going to do, that's what I'm going to do, period. And I got to have evidence. So she's sitting down here watching, playing with herself, high as a kite, right? Not caring who's in the house, whether kids watching, nothing. She's in her own world. So that's how I was able to see the tapes. I saw them, and I saw some things that were unreal, and I saw celebrities on the tape.
Ooh.
I'm under penalty of perjury. If anything in here is a lie, my ass going to jail, period. There's no if, There's no ends, there's no buts. You know what you and Diddy was doing together in y'all younger years. All that's coming out.
Who else did you see allegedly on the tapes?
Tyrese with Will and Jada. Then the one with Charlie Mack and Will. Jada's not on it, but you can hear her say, make him spit up, period. So when these tapes come out, people will know I'm telling. So it's time for everybody that got a credible story, I should say, to start the process.
And then there is Orlando Brown, who, just like Aaron and Bryshere, also had his start in the industry at a young age, only to end up broke and an addict. Orlando was a lead actor in Disney's hit TV show That's So Raven. But right after the show ended, his career also pretty much ended. He was arrested multiple times, including a DUI charge in 2011, resulting in jail for 27 days. He got into more legal troubles after that, but what really took the cake was in 2014, when an audio leaked of him threatening to end a woman and her entire family. He later went to rehab in 2016, but got pulled back into his raging substance hook and ended up getting arrested again in 2018 for narcotics possession. But here's where things get crazy. It's now being alleged by multiple blind items that Bryshere and Orlando believe that Aaron didn't die from drowning and that he was actually taken out by the higher-ups. If you remember, I already said earlier that this is a theory that a lot of folks already believed. But baby, the last thing anyone expected was for Orlando, and most of all Bryshere, to also step in to confirm the suspicions. It's unclear why they are doing this now after staying silent for so long, but word on the street is that their life is in danger too, and they fear that if they don't come out and tell the world, they will also end up like Aaron Carter. It was also reported by a blind item that Bryshere was gearing to drop his own lawsuit, but then he suddenly went silent. And just recently, cops were also called to his house because he tried to off himself. And it doesn't help that right before Aaron died, he actually publicly reached out to Kanye West because he had something very important to tell him. This was back when Kanye was acting up and selling those White Lives Matter t-shirts. Diddy's handlers instructed him to get in Kanye's DMs and tell him to instruct Kanye to cut it out. But Kanye put the DMs on blast and basically told him to F off. Around the same time, Aaron tweeted, "Yo Kanye, let's talk. Man to man." This was actually the last tweet Aaron posted before he was discovered dead. Well, word on the street is Diddy made Aaron post that tweet. Not only that, people have been putting the pieces together, and they're saying that Aaron wasn't really trying to discuss the shirts. He was trying to say something else entirely, connecting the dots between Diddy, Aaron Carter, and Kanye West. Diddy's handlers told him to get Ye to stop selling White Lives Matters tees. Ye told Diddy to F off, basically. Diddy told Aaron, who I believe did bad things to him when he was young, to publicly call out Ye, which he did. Around this time, Ye started going off more than usual about the elites. On the 11th of March 2022, Aaron tweets, "Yo, Kanye, let's talk. Man to man." I don't think he wanted to talk about the t-shirts at this point. Just 2 days later, Aaron is found dead in his bathtub. He drowned with in his system. I don't know about you, but I'm not buying it. Maybe I'm not saying that Aaron was indeed taken out, but judging from what those alleged blind items are saying and the dots people are connecting, it looks like there really might be more to all this than we thought. But in the meantime, I want to know your thoughts. What do you think of Bryshere and Orlando claiming Aaron was unalived? And do you really think they are next? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And don't forget to click here to watch this other messy video.